Mm. These Dutch oven pork ribs sure are tender and a wonderful flavor. Matter of fact, they're so tender you can cut them with a plastic fork. These are simple. Keep watching. You'll learn how. Alright, so we're going to make these country style pork ribs in a Dutch oven. They're going to come out so tender that you can cut them with a plastic fork, literally. You notice I've already got the Dutch oven warming on the coals. We're going to add in probably about 1/3 of a cup to a 1/2 cup of oil, just to get a little bit of a layer of oil going in the bottom of the pan, because we're going to start kind of searing the outside of these pork ribs. While that's coming up to temperature, we're going to take our favorite seasoning, whatever that is, and I'm using Red River Ranch Original today. And we're just going to season these ribs. These are country style pork ribs. You can use boneless or bone in, either one, whatever you prefer. Flip them over. Season the other side pretty good. Just kind of pat that seasoning in. Make sure it gets everywhere. Not really a rub, but just, like I said, just patting it in, getting them good and seasoned. Once they're seasoned all over, got it all patted in, rubbed in, easiest way to not make a total mess is have you a Ziploc bag of flour. We're just going to take a couple of these at a time, drop into that flour, zip it up, make sure they get good and coated. We're still waiting on that temperature to come up, so I'm just going to set them right back on the platter and get the next two ready. Make sure to kind of shake off at least some of that excess flour. Alright, so now that we've got our ribs seasoned and dusted in flour, we're going to make sure our oil's up to temp. An easy way to do that, just dip your fingers in some water, splatter it in there. When you hear that popping sound, you know your temperature's there. So we're going to just take these ribs and lay them right into that oil. Let them kind of give them a sear on all four sides, or on all sides, depending on how many sides they have. And I mean, this, not really even a heavy sear, just kind of, a minute or two on each side, just to barely brown them and to kind of lock that flour coating into place. See, that's about what you're looking for, that good brown color. Just gonna go ahead and roll it over on the other side. So once we got our ribs browned on all sides like we want them, now we can kind of pack them in there pretty tight with each other. You want a little space between them, but not necessarily a lot. So like here, I'm just going to go ahead and put them all in, and I'm actually going to be able to fit this on a single layer. You can stack them, it just takes longer to cook. Once you got them all in, we're going to go ahead, take our Dutch oven lid, place it on top. Take our Dutch oven off the coals for just a minute. Now really you want only about 8 coals on the bottom, but since this is already starting to ash out from our use, I'm going to add about 6 7 good full coals here. Just kind of get them in an even circle. That we can set our Dutch oven back on. Ooh, that thing's putting off some heat. Then we're going to put these about 12 coals on top. Some of these are burnt down, so I'm going to go ahead and go a little larger. But the ultimate goal, spread them out so you get some even heat. The ultimate goal is to go about 350, 360 degrees inside that Dutch oven. Which, if you go by the chart that I have linked below, would technically be 8 briquettes on the bottom, or 9 briquettes on the bottom, 13 on top, roughly. And now this has got to bake like this for 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. Now, of course, the charcoal isn't going to last that long, so we're going to be checking our heat and probably turning the Dutch oven about every 20 or 30 minutes just to get a good even cook on. We'll be back in a little bit to turn these. Alright, so this has been on about 25 minutes now. We're going to come out, we're going to check our heat, which we're going okay. Just as long as you can hold it, you know, you feel good, solid heat coming off of that. You don't want to hold your hand there more than about 6 seconds. If you do, it's cooling off. But we're doing okay for right now. And we're just going to turn it to make sure all of our heat is evenly distributed. So we're just going to turn the lid. I'm going to go clockwise, half a turn. Turn the Dutch oven itself. Counterclockwise, half a turn. And let it go for about another 20 minutes. Now, in a conventional oven inside, if you were cooking this, you wouldn't have to worry about the turning because your heat's very even. And you wouldn't have to worry about checking your temperature because, again, the heat stays even inside your oven. If you're cooking out over the campfire or just in the backyard with briquettes, you want to keep that heat checked. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't dip too low. We'll be back in a little bit to check this and turn it again. Alright, so we're out here again. This has been on now probably about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Our coals have cooled off quite a bit. You can see I can just hold my hand there. Way too long. So we're going to go ahead and just add some fresh charcoal to that. Again, if you're doing this in a conventional Dutch oven or a conventional oven inside the house, you wouldn't have to worry about this step. Doing it over a campfire though, you just kind of monitor where your temperature is at as you go. We're going to go back to about 12 on top, 13 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Set the Dutch oven off. I'm going to go about 9 more here around the bottom. Now some of your briquettes have kind of burned up a little small. go ahead and add an extra one in there just to keep things going. Oops. Now as we put it back on, we're going to go half turn counterclockwise with the Dutch oven. And a half turn clockwise with the lid, just to keep it going even. Alright, so now these guys have been on for pretty close to an hour and 20 minutes now. Our heat's still doing good, so we're going to go ahead and take a peek before we rotate them. I'm going to take the lid off, and oh yeah, you need that smell-o-vision. Oh yeah, those are looking good. Turn clockwise with the lid. Counterclockwise. Oh, we still got about 20 minutes or so before these are completely done. We'll be back at that time. Alright, these have been on now for about an hour and 45 minutes or so. And they're pretty well should be done. So we're going to take a peek, see what we got. Oh yeah, those things are looking beautiful. Y'all should be able to smell this. Smell-o-vision would be a great thing right at the moment. Alright, so let's get one of these out of here. If we can take it out in one piece. Oh, it's falling apart on me, look out. Okay, so we'll take it out in two pieces. Now, just to prove that these are tender, you know those cheap plastic forks that you get at the restaurant? They're always breaking usually. Let's see what it does. Just like cake. Now then, the real secret. Food can look good. What's it taste like? Give me a good piece. Maybe. Cool it down a little bit. I wish I could share this with y'all. But thanks for stopping by and learning how to make Dutch oven pork ribs. So tender, you'll be making them on a regular basis at your house. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like and subscribe button so you can catch all our videos. And I hope you just go out and taste the adventure